The Snowball by Brigid Brophy originally came out in 1964, and then couple of years back, it was re-released, as books often are, and so that's when I came across it. The Snowball takes place all in one night at a masquerade ball on a snowy New Year's Eve in fashionable London. The book mostly follows Anna, who is kissed at midnight by a mysterious man, but it also takes in her friend and the host of the party, who's called Anne. So she's Anna. There's also Anne. Anne is a wealthy woman, and she and Anna are very close friends. And then there's also Ruth, a teenage girl who wants to write down every memory of her first ball. Or all of them have different sort of erotic experiences at the party, and the story is also influenced by Mozart's Don Giovanni. The book was originally published in the 60s, as I mentioned, and because of the sexual content of the book, it was considered a bit controversial at the time. It has a timelessness, though, that I really liked. It could have been written now, and yet something about the sort of masquerade made me feel like it was also could have been in a Georgian or Regency time period. The book is rich and layered. It's not very long. It's full of wit and satire, playing on social manners, which makes it quite funny sometimes. It felt very different to pretty much anything I've read lately. It's very descriptive. It slows down quite a lot to really focus on texture and feeling of each gesture, each object. It's almost overly descriptive, but rather than being irritating or pretentious, I found myself kind of slowing down with it and sinking into it all, a bit like a mindfulness meditation. I found it quite calming and relaxing as a writing style. In a way, the book is dreamlike because of this sort of fairy tale nature of the house and the ball. It sort of feels a bit dreamy, especially it being Ruth's sort of first experience. But because it focuses in on minutiae, it's also very practical and grounded in a way. It's an unusual tone to strike, and I felt like that made it something kind of special and different. The characters are quite interesting. Anna is described quite completely, her face like a mask and something that she loves to look at. I found that sort of interesting. We're told she's narcissistic, self-obsessed. She engages in long existential chats with people. But I think she's probably not narcissistic in the way we would now describe that. The way it's sort of a buzzword these days. It's sort of more like saying she's a bit vain kind of thing. She shares a similar name with Anne, which is interesting, to the hostess, who has a pure white bedroom, which I was fascinated by. Just all white. I'd be so nice. Just thinking I'd never be able to. I have a black cat, so there's no way that would work for me. But the freshness of that, waking up in an all white room, I just feel like that's so kind of stylized. Anyway. Poor Anne, by comparison to Anna, is called an elephant, a lumbering person. It's very harsh. People really described physicality in such different ways a few decades ago. But then Ruth, who plays a smaller part, she's the teenage girl. She's kind of different again. So all the women here are very practical about sex and relationships. They're not romantic. And I liked that. It was kind of funny sometimes, because I think sometimes that kind of thing in literature can be over-romanticized. So it's kind of fun. But they're all in different places in life. Anna is a bit jaded, but available for an affair. And the hostess is on her fourth marriage, and Ruth has her first sexual experience. I can't help but think how down to earth this book is for its era. It has like a sense of romance, but it's not romantic. It's definitely not like a love story or anything like that. Brigid Brophy was such an intriguing person and writer. I didn't know much about her as I was reading this, but after reading, I looked her up because I was like, what is this? You know, she was a real firecracker. She campaigned for workers and animal rights. She was a feminist and regularly appeared on TV in the 60s and 70s and stirred up a bit of controversy. She may have had a lesbian relationship or affair with Iris Murdoch. She definitely had unconventional for the time views on marriage. And this book is considered sort of her masterwork, probably her masterwork. And I'm really glad that it's been reprinted. It's a perfect book for readers to rediscover. So I thought that was pretty cool. So if you like literary fiction, if you like Mozart or books that you can kind of sink into, that kind of really literary sort of thing, you're going to like this. It's a little unconventional. So don't kind of look at the title and go into it thinking it's sort of a meet cute romance at a ball or anything like that. There's some other things going on. But I do highly recommend it as a sort of literary fiction. If you have read this book, I would love to know what you thought of it. And especially if you read it, because I read it in the last 5 years. I would love to know what you thought of it if you read it in the 60s or 70s or 80s kind of thing, because I think it would have been quite... would have probably hit differently then. So let me know. Or if you've read any of her other books that you recommend or anything like that, please let me know in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. And thank you for watching and happy reading. You can check out some of my other videos. I also have another channel and socials, so you can find links below if you want more of that. And if you want to hang out again, remember to like and subscribe. And you can always leave a comment. Let me know what you thought or let me know what else you might want to see. Thank you.